Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? Episode 84. "I will," said Willow. "Willow," Samuel called from the other end of the room, "I need to go over something with you." "So do I. I've decided that you, Kalina, and Sigurd are coming with me tomorrow." "When you see the Queen? Good," Sigurd said. "I knew you'd come to your senses." "Sigurd, after we get back, I need to talk to you alone." "Anything you want, honey. Sam and I have been talking, and we were thinking that instead of having this group of men here, we'd move them." Willow waited for the others to arrive outside the cave entrance the next morning. She was going to conceal them before they left, and if everything went well, they'd talk to the Queen and be back to safety within the next hour or two. All in all, she felt good about their plan and about the decision she'd reveal later on that day. Hearing male voices arguing, she turned her head to see who it was. "I still say we should." "No, Sigurd," Samuel said, shaking his head. "We are not changing the plan because you are too stubborn." "Stubborn?" "Stubborn to get it through your thick skull." "Thick skull?" "That we have a very good, solid plan, and that any changes would be foolhardy and stupid." "Who do you think you are to be talking to me like that?" Sigurd asked. Willow could imagine steam coming from his nose and ears the way he was breathing hard in anger. Samuel drew himself up. "I am." "That's enough, boys," Willow said, not wanting any more angry words to be said, especially when they would be arriving in a hostile environment in a few minutes. "Sigurd, we've already gone over the plan, and nothing you say will change my mind." "But I had a great idea." "I don't care. People who change their plans at the last minute are fools. What we're doing is dangerous enough that we don't need to add foolish choices to the mix. Look, the others are here," she said, nodding to Hawk and Kalina, who'd just arrived. "Can you put this behind you and just follow the plan?" Sigurd nodded to Willow's great relief. "Good. I want everyone to line up in front of me." She waited until they moved to where she'd indicated, and then concealed them. When they'd all disappeared from her sight, she said, "How's everyone feel? Okay?" "Yep, all here," Hawk answered. Willow then turned to Val and concealed him. She knew her staff was too distinctive to avoid detection for very long, especially if that wretched man, Lord Alvis, was at the palace. Once Val disappeared from her view, Hawk said, "Hold out your hand, and I'll grab it." As Willow waited for Hawk, she said, "I want you to watch everyone for me, and make sure they don't do anything stupid." "Will do." She felt him squeeze her hand in support, and then they'd left the coolness of the forest for a shadowy area in a huge room. People moved about, none noticing her sudden appearance. Settling back into the shadow, she nodded her head, indicating to the others to move into their positions around the room. Willow looked around the throne room in curiosity, for she'd never been in such a large and crowded space in her life. The edges of the room were where most of the movement occurred. The center of the room was empty of all people. In front of the room, there was the Queen's throne, It was empty at the moment, but she knew it would be occupied in a few minutes, for Kalina had told them that she always made her morning presence at the same time every day, without fail. Trumpets suddenly sounded from a doorway just behind the throne. The room went silent, and everyone turned toward the door and bowed. "All bow for Her Royal Highness Queen Silverlyn!" Willow saw a majestic woman, dripping with fabulous jewels and cloth, enter the throne room, her head held high. Supreme confidence was written in every line of her body. Behind Queen Silverlyn she saw a man, just as dignified as the queen, coming from the shadowed room. When he walked into the light, she saw the man was Lord Alvis, her foe from Nykr. Once Queen Silverlyn had settled herself upon the throne, she said, "Bring forth the first petition." Willow saw an older man start forward, but then something, or rather someone, stopped him in his tracks. "Samuel's got the man. Go," Hawk said. Willow stepped forward, keeping her cloak and hood wrapped around her, so the queen couldn't see who she was right away. She walked until she was only a few feet away from the throne. "Who are you, and what do you want?" Queen Silverlyn asked, her tone brisk and unfriendly. "I humbly request for you to step down from the throne," Willow said. Her voice was strong and clear, so all could hear her words. "You what? Show yourself!" Lord Alvis demanded, stepping beside Queen Silverlyn. "Take off that hood at once, and bow to your monarch, you peasant!" "While I mean no outright disrespect, I cannot bow to a person who's continued her ancestors' traditions of oppressing an entire people." With her words still ringing in the air, Willow pushed her hood back, revealing her face to them. "You!" Queen Silverlyn screeched. "Guards, seize her!" 5 men took a step forward, but were stopped by the ice daggers, which were suddenly pointed directly at their hearts. "While you may feel intimidated by my presence here, I mean you no harm. At least not right now," Willow said, casually unconcealing her staff before the crowd's eyes and putting her armor in place. "If you refuse my demand, then harm will come to you. But we'll get to that in a minute." "Intimidated? I am not intimidated by a mere slip of a girl, especially one who is alone," Queen Silverlyn screeched before visibly trying to control herself. "I am not alone, and I would advise you to be very careful at underestimating me. The underestimated enemy is the one you need to worry about the most." "Don't spout nonsense to me, girl. State your business and leave before more of my men get here and drag you down to my dungeon," Queen Silverlyn said. "Yes, why are you here, Willow? The last time I saw you, you were pathetically running away from my grasp," Lord Alvis said. "I am here to formally demand that you, Queen Silverlyn, current Queen of Blesa, step down from the throne and relinquish all rights to the people and property of the Driva." "Who would rule them if not me? You?" Queen Silverlyn laughed as if her idea was preposterous. "No, we have a king, and he is willing and able to take your place the second you are defeated or step down willingly." "Who is this king?" Lord Alvis asked. "Is it someone we know? Perhaps someone within this very room?" "As to the king's identity, he prefers to remain anonymous until we have your decision. His current location, also, is on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Sufficient to say, he's far away from here and your tentacles. I have been authorized to negotiate your surrender on his behalf." "Surrender?" Queen Silverlyn scoffed at the idea. "I would never surrender to... What are you exactly? A messenger? A lowly errand girl?" "How rude of me," Willow said, a wide smile on her face. "I should have introduced myself to you before. But you appear to know me. My mistake. I am Willow Lovis Diviana, possessor of the 5 sacred objects of Hiln. It is my great duty to defeat you and return peace and equality to this land." "And you think you can do all that by putting someone else in charge? Child, you have a lot to learn in the way of politics if you think it is that simple. Nothing in my job is that simple, and I've been queen for more years than you've been alive." "You might be right, but you will not be in a position to see the changes if you don't abdicate the throne. Here are our demands, and listen, for this will be the last time I state them. You, Queen Silverland, will leave the throne, this palace, and disappear in return for your life. If you do not, my king and I will meet you on the battlefield tomorrow at first light." Queen Silverland looked hard at Willow for a minute. The tension in the room was enough to cut an unarmored man in half. "You will allow me to consult with Lord Alvis?" "Of course. Take all the time you need," Willow said graciously. "How's it going?" she asked Hawk as the Queen and Lord Alvis whispered to each other. "Fine. Kalin and Sigurd are both behind Lord Alvis. The second he tries something, they'll stop him." "Are they close enough to hear the conversation taking place?" "I don't think so. But we can ask them when we get back home." "What's the word about those other guards she's threatened us with?" Hawk was silent for a second before saying, "I don't see them, but I have no doubts that they are on the way. We need to leave before they come, or else we'll be seriously outnumbered." "Don't worry, I can hold them off if I need to." Queen Silverland suddenly straightened and looked at Willow. She cleared her throat before she spoke. "I have spoken to my most trusted advisor, and I have to tell you that while our little exchange is the most exciting time I've had as of late, I must decline your offer. Since I found out about your little presence, I've been gathering and training my forces harder than ever. They will be ready for whatever you and that pathetic wannabe king put before them. Be ready for the fight of your life, because the only way I will ever leave this throne is if I am dead. And if you fail to be killed tomorrow and I win, I will have the great pleasure of hunting you down and gutting you myself." You have been listening to From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. Read, recorded, mastered, encoded, and produced by Colbyjack.net. This work is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it, just don't try to profit from it. Heaven knows we can't. If you have any questions, comments, or rants you wish to share with us, we can be reached at Colbyjack at Colbyjack.net. That's COLBYTRAX @COLBYJACK.net. Yep, I sing it too. If you want to follow the exploits of Trisha in Twitterland, just search for Lady Trisha W on Twitter, or follow the ever-dashing, courageous, hardworking, intelligent, and immensely humble Colbyjack on the Twitters as well. If you find that you can't just wait to find out what will happen with Willow, the strong dude and the annoying dude, be heartened to know that From the Flames is available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Smashwords, as well as from our little shop. Didn't you know about our little shop? Why, yes, we have a little shop located at shop. That's shop.colbyjack.net. That's shop.colbyjack.net. Yeah, real original there. There you will find the latest ebook versions of all our works in both Mobi and ebook, all DRM-free, as well as audiobook versions of such works as Firmware Hijacked and Proxy, as well, naturally, as well as From the Flames. The audiobooks differ from the podcasts in that the headers and bumpers only run once, and the episodes are grouped in hour-long episodes for easy burning to CD or for downloading on the go. If you find you don't need any stuff, but just want to thank us monetarily for our efforts here, just head on over to Colbyjack.net, select either audio or visual, and look for the donate button located on the blog roll. Well, anyway, thank you for listening, have a wonderful week, and remember to be fabulous.